15 Handicap wants to improve general contact with the irons, and this face-on view gives us the best look as to where your low point might be. Now, going back to your setup, your left hand grip is a little strong and it's in the palm of your right hand. Both of those things are going to be a closed face bias through your swing, and if you're struggling hitting it left, I'd consider going to a weak grip before you do any of the following. Now, relative to contact and ball striking, hip sway, or the lateral movement of your hips left and right, has a direct correlation to where your club hits the ground, whether it being fat or thin or clean. Now, the more you slide off the ball without recovery, the more fat that these strikes will be. The more that you drive your hips in front, the more downward and in front or thin your strikes will be. So let's see what happens here and what we can try to infer. When the hips move off the ball a little bit, we're going to see that the weight gets to the outstep of that trail foot. It's not a good move because you're not really going to be able to transfer that weight and recover from that position. We'll see as you get up toward the top, not really much shoulder tilt, but do some self-study on that. Left shoulder tilting down. You do push off that back foot with whatever you have left before it completely spins out and gets toward the toe. Now, there's not much of a lateral push to make a real concerted effort to get in front of it. You're instead more of a rotational swinger of the golf club, where that back leg is really driving the knee and driving your hips open, not really sliding or pushing your entire body more laterally towards target. Rotation does not really help you hit with better contact, or hit more down on the ball, I should say. More of that push where your hips stay closed and your hips slide forward, that movement there does bring your low point more forward and improve the odds of hitting down on the back of the ball. Now, what do we try to do about this? I'll give you two options. One is try to get to a more rotational backswing to where your hips can stay along the lead line. If nothing moves backwards off the ball, you have a higher chance of only hitting clean or thin, which in my opinion are better misses than fat misses. Or the secondary option is you will allow yourself to make pretty much the same top of the backswing move, but try to keep more weight on the instep rather than loading up to the outstep, and then naturally you'll feel it to be much easier to push off that instep because that's where the weight is. You'll move laterally, you'll get a couple more inches out in front than where you are right now, and that I think will make you hit down on a sharper position on the back of the ball. The rest of it, I think, is really just you trying to hold off that club face, actually. Watching this again, hands do manage to come through forward. It doesn't look terrible, but you're not allowing yourself to really fully roll and release that club to a full finish, which tells me you're holding on to the face or trying to prevent it from closing. Goes back to that grip and setup, but ponder over that. Here's your down the line view, where not really going to go over too much here. Contact being more of the subject has us with that face on view, but it's always good to look at your path and face. We do see that club travel on a nice path, but that face is maybe a couple degrees shut on the backswing. That lack of shoulder tilt keeps your shoulders fairly level, something to consider again, but after you work on your sways, plane does drop nicely back down what appears to be on line, what appears to be more open than the backswing, and things kind of work out. Swing does manage to get to a fair impact, but we see again how active that back leg and back foot is, lifting early, and again not transferring much weight or not developing much speed through the kinetic chain of your swing, to get all nerdy on you there. But we fizzled out at this point. If you have any questions, please follow up. Good luck. Sendaswing.com.